Long ago, in a distant land deep within Africa, where rivers shimmered and green life thrived, two nations stood side by side, on opposite sides of the river. One flourished, blessed with rich soil, deep waters, and golden harvests. The other, poorer, but proud and unyielding, steeped in the traditions of warriors, skilled in the ways of ancestral defense. Bound by a 50-year treaty signed after bloodshed and sorrow, they coexisted not in friendship, but in a careful balance of fear and hope. King Asubiaro, ruler of the richer land, now sat weakened by illness. Every breath was a battle, every sunrise a reminder of time running out. He feared what would come after his final breath. His son, young and unsure, was still not ready to defend the kingdom. And King Okafor, his counterpart and rival, had long waited for an excuse to reclaim the lands he had once claimed. Asubiaro devised a plan, not of armies, but of lineage. He offered his daughter, Princess Zola, in marriage to King Okafor, a widower with no child to inherit his name or throne. The union was swift, and in time, Zola bore a child, a son. But Asubiaro was not finished. He feared the boy, born of two nations, might grow to become a bridge or a weapon. And so, in the quiet of a hidden room, he gave a command. The boy must not live. The nurse, barely 26 and trembling, bowed and said she understood. But she could not do it. In her arms, the child was innocent, fragile and full of breath. She fled, vanishing into the hills, carrying the secret that would one day shake the two nations. The child had grown up in a quiet rural clinic, miles from palaces and power. His name was Emeka. He healed the wounded. He listened with care. He worked side by side with the family who raised him, doctors, like the nurse who once saved his life. He knew nothing of kingdoms or crowns. One day, fate called him to a new patient. King Okafor was the man on the bed, weak, frail, but still regal. Neither knew their blood bound them. As Emeka tended to him, Okafor noticed something. A mark, a dark hand, sat on Emeka's forearm. This mark is carried only by the firstborn in Okafor's bloodline. The king's voice shook. Could it be? And then, the nurse stepped into the light. Now 51, aged by years of silence, she spoke the truth. She had disobeyed. She had fled. She had saved the boy. But only now, with King Asubiaro gone, could she speak. Queen Zola, standing nearby, closed her eyes. Her heart, long troubled by suspicion, now knew peace. Okafor's tears were not just of sorrow, but of love, recognition, and regret. His final breath carried a name. My son. And then, silence. Word spread quickly. Queen Zola summoned the Council of Elders. She sat serene in her royal robes, flanked by the late king's advisor and Emeka, her son. But her voice was steady, that of a mother. She revealed the truth. Emeka, raised in humility, was her son, and Okafor's heir, a child born of two nations, a child meant to unify, not destroy. The council murmured, some skeptical, some in awe. But truth has a way of settling deeper than doubt. The kingdom mourned. Drums beat low. Elders moved in solemn procession. The casket of King Okafor lay beneath the sun, draped in symbols of the past. And then, in the golden light of morning, Queen Zola stepped forward, adorned in full regalia. Beside her stood Emeka, now crowned, no longer the healer alone, but a prince revealed, and a king received. Together, mother and son faced the people, not as rulers above them, but as those born from sacrifice, shaped by truth, not conquest. Later, before the flags of both nations, bold in red, black, and gold, Emeka stood alone. His silhouette caught the sun. His voice rose not to command, but to unite. The peace our fathers feared to lose, we will now protect, not with blades, but with honesty. I was born of silence, but I will lead with truth. Let what was once divided now stand as one. Because truth, when honored, does not simply return, it rises and leads.